Miss A got a lot to say on all the things we go through within the day. Politics, dating, recipes, traveling, and yep, of course, I'm the karaoke queen. I take no L's, I'm always booking flights. This is my lovely lunatic Leo life. Kaboom! Guess who stepped in the room? This is my lovely lunatic Leo life. Kaboom! Guess who stepped in the room? The one and only MissALovesToTravel. What's up, everybody? Welcome to my lovely lunatic Leo life. This is season 3 and this is episode 3, and I'm just so excited to be here because I got my homie and he's amazing. Okay, when I say he's amazing, and I can't wait to discuss everything that he got going on. Mr. Kenny Miles. Woo!
Making a black man blush.
That means I'm doing better with my intros because that's what I've been struggling with.
What?
Introducing my guests.
No, you're doing just fine. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you. I'm so happy you're here.
No question. Should I look at you? Are we having a conversation?
Yeah, we're having a conversation. You can look at me and our people. It's up to you.
Do a little bit of both.
Yeah.
But you're looking good, so I'm gonna look at you right now.
Thank you. I appreciate it because you know what? I do feel good, guys, and I think it's like exuding through me. It's not just like the physical aspect. It's like the whole aura. My aura has been shining lately. I'm getting so much attention, but not from my future husband. That's the problem.
Everything takes time. Everything takes time.
Yeah. Well, it's 40 years, damn it. No, it's not. I know.
No. So let me back up. Is that an African thing? So my wife is from Nigeria. You're from Ghana. Are you expected to be married at a certain age?
Yeah, well, honestly, in my 20s is when my family was harassing me more. But once they saw that nothing was happening, then I guess they just like chilled. But I spoke to my uncle. He lives in Ghana, right? I spoke to him last month, and I haven't talked to him in a while. And because my birthday, I just turned 40. So he's like, when are you getting married? I was like, here we go. Now I'm 40. It's going to be a whole nother milestone. Like, okay, is she gay or is she just not into getting married? I've been asked if I was gay, by the way, in my 20s. Because I wasn't having a boyfriend. I'm like, no, I'm just living my life. And nobody wants me.
Nobody wants you.
Only the ones that want to waste my time, not the good ones. I need the good one. I need my soulmate.
All right, you know what you probably don't want to hear, and this is the truth.
Once you say that, it's
you
like
get signed already. No, I mean, but things just take time.
Yeah.
And it's just like you're cooking. You don't take the cake out the oven before it's
You're right.
properly.
You're right.
Before you put the frosting and everything on it, you gotta everything in due time.
You're right. And I have to respect that because I've noticed things in my life have happened when it's supposed to come. And I'm always preaching to y'all, things happen when it's supposed to happen. So I need to just relax. But I'm telling you, if I'm 50 and I'm not yet, I'm fucking shit up. I don't know what I'm fucking up. I'm going to retreat to a corner in Alaska and just stay there.
You'll definitely be fine.
But anyway, that's enough about me. We got a lot to talk about you, Mr. Kenny Miles, because you got so much going on, y'all. He's a father and a husband. He's a community activist. He's an author. He's an entrepreneur. And on top of all that, he's going back to school for his master's. Mm-hmm. Like, that's a lot.
So I'm going to back you up just a little bit. I'm an aspiring author.
Aspiring author.
Because you know why? Because I believe in manifestation and putting things out into the universe that you aspire to, right? So I've been doing interviews for a couple of years, and I will always say that, I'm working on my book, like you, and get married and finding the one in God's time, right? Mm-hmm. It will happen. It will.
But I thought you wrote a book already. Oh, no.
No.
Never mind. Yo, you guys also, we were writing accountability partners.
Okay. So it's not done. I mean, I do have some work, but it's not. I'm going to go back to the analogy of baking, right? So it's not, the cake is not ready yet. It's not ready yet.
But when we started being accountability partners, we would meet up on Zoom every week, right?
Mm-hmm. Until you left me.
What happened was I had to focus on this podcast. Okay. You see, at least I didn't just stop and not do anything. I went back.
Kenny, I'm out.
And mind you, when I was gonna tell you, I'm like, I had to sit on it. Like, how am I gonna say this? Like, I was there. I know you're right. I knew he wasn't gonna be mad, but I was like, I felt bad leaving.
I was actually pissed off.
Oh shit! The truth shall set you free, huh?
I'll come to your podcast and tell you.
Damn, you were mad at it for real?
No, I'm joking.
Oh, because at least I had to. You guys know I like to talk. I'm a talker. So when it comes to writing, I can write a bit, but I'm not as motivated or as happy as I am when it comes to talking. So that's why I'm like, all right, let me just put this on hold, work on my podcast. And then things started taking off on my podcast. I'm like, okay, now I have to edit the videos for the podcast. So now it's taking more time. But there's no excuse. If I can find time, if I just maintain it, you know what I'm saying? So we will get back to that though, because we did good for the first couple weeks.
You inspired me. I think, so what explain what we were doing. We had that, didn't we have like a word count that we had to do like within a certain amount of time, and then we would get on Zoom and talk about if we met our goal or not. And I think it was
100 a day or something.
No, I think it was more than 100 a day. But then, like that first week, you were like, I did X amount, and I was like, she ain't gonna outdo me. So I just started writing, and that actually inspired me. I'm very competitive, but wow. But this is a personal journey, right?
Yeah, right. So, we're both writing memoirs too. Yours is a memoir, right? Yes, so I'm doing a memoir. So it's a personal journey, but at the same time, it's stuff that we hold. Well, that is personal. We hold near and dear to our hearts. So we're gonna get it out there, guys. Trust and believe. It's gonna be out there soon.
So we want you to hold us accountable.
Yes, please.
To get our books done, right?
And seriously, if there's a book you're writing, or if there's something else that you have been dying to do, and you're just like procrastinating, we can all be together. We can start from my Instagram. We can start a group. I'm actually working on my website. So once my website is done, we can all interact easier on that. But in the meantime, we could do it through Instagram. We could do Zoom. You know what I mean? So we can all, or we could go to my house. Not them.
Why not?
Who's them?
Your people. Our people.
Okay. In my studio apartment?
Yeah.
My little ass. That means I gotta have the hors d'oeuvres and drinks.
Nice and cozy. You just tell people to bring
BYO at stuff.
Not BYO stuff. They may know what to bring, right?
Right. Yeah. Right. That's not a bad idea though, Kenny. Like we could do that, and I just gotta manage my time because I've been messing up honestly because I still have to edit my vlogs from Zanzibar, and now I have 3 episodes that I have to edit for this. But I've been obsessed with my tarot readers on YouTube. That's honestly what I be doing. Like, I don't even watch TV anymore. I'm watching YouTube tarot readers, and it's driving me crazy. I need to stop the
Can I just tell you, this is so different for me. So, like, I've been a journalist for a very long time, since I was 15 years old.
Damn.
15 years old. Started writing a column for my local newspaper called the HIS Journal in Jersey City, right? And this is very different for me. I'm a type of guy who likes to be behind the scenes and write, and I've always been in amazement of people who can just talk to a camera and not see someone on the other side. So I'm fascinated by people who are able people who are into radio or television. That takes a certain type of personality, I think.
I appreciate
do you talk
that.
to yourself when you...
All the time.
Okay.
All the time. Like, I talk to myself as if I'm doing a show. I talk to myself as if I'm talking to somebody. I argue with myself. Like...
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I thank you for saying that because I sometimes have to realize that I do have a gift. And I thought most people can just do this. I didn't know it's something like, damn, I wish I could do that. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't realize I had a gift to be so open and so...
charismatic.
Yeah, I didn't know that was considered a gift. I thought everybody was like that. But people have their own lanes that they stay in. Like people who are behind the scenes, I'm like, no, I need to be seen. Like, how do you want to be behind the scenes?
I mean, you have people who are on YouTube and they just start talking. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And some of them are like 5 hours, and I'm just like, what? I guess it can be interactive when you have people who are in the comment section. But I'm like, damn,
that's a long time.
Just talking and talking and talking.
I gotta talk with substance, or else I'm just gonna chill. I'm not just gonna talk. But back to you and starting writing at 15. So you told me, how did that get started when you started writing for your local magazine, newspaper?
Okay, so I'm aging myself right now, but I'm in my 40s. So I remember I was in high school at the time, and I wrote a letter to the editor at the paper saying basically they needed more coverage geared towards younger people. And a couple of weeks later, I remember I was at Newport Mall, and I was on a payphone. I called home, and my mom was just like, "Yeah, payphone." My mom was just like, "You got a letter from the Jersey Journal," and when I went home and opened it up, they basically invited me to the editorial office to come in and to meet with them.
Wow.
And so I signed a contract.
So you spoke up for the young people in your community.
I wasn't thinking about speaking up for the younger people in my community. I just thought about having an outlet for myself at that age, right? So I didn't play sports. I didn't like school, so I'm just in for the most part, just stayed to myself. So, but I needed that outlet, and I found that in writing, and I would read a lot too.
That's amazing.
Growing up, and I still do.
Did you like doing like school reports and stuff? No? You wanted to write what you wanted to write about, not what you were told to write.
Let me tell you something. I love magazines, right? Like music magazines, like Rolling Stone, Vibe at the time. The Source is considered the hip hop Bible. Ooh. And I would religiously go, to the train station, downtown Grove Street, PATH train station every month and I'm very specific about that because I remember me wanting to get that new issue.
Wow.
Some people, they're all about sneakers and waiting outside. I just couldn't wait to get the latest issue of my favorite magazine.
The Source.
Yeah.
Which later on,
I became a part of the editorial team
of the Source magazine.
Of the Source magazine, and that's why I believe it's important to state your intentions and also to put out what you want to get in the universe. That was a dream come true. This is many years later for me, and I'm sorry, that's my Instagram going off. You want me to turn? I mean, it's off.
Okay.
But it's the alerts. I'm sorry.
Here we go. You can't take black folk nowhere. No.
I'm sorry. They know I'm on your show, so
it's all good. I mean, let the fans come. You're right.
No, but so going back, it's really important to state your intentions and to put out what you want to get in the world.
Yeah.
I could look back and say, I lived a lot of the things that I wanted to have in my life has come to fruition. And I'm a major believer in manifestation.
Me too.
My family, my career, the life that I have now is what I prayed for and I envisioned.
Yeah, that's good. Mm-hmm. Because even for you to be wanting to go travel to get a certain magazine and to end up working for it, that is a dream come true. And when you do put your mind through something, now some people say, well, I'm always saying I want to do this and I'm manifesting. No, you have to actually believe it. Like what you want, you believe it like you're going to have it. Like it's yours. It's not even saying you want it. You're saying it's yours.
You got to believe it, and you also have to put the work in.
And yes, for sure.
I just never said, okay, I want to work for, this magazine. I would go up there, knock on doors and, just introduce myself. And of course, I didn't have an appointment. You're smiling, but I was that 17, 18-year-old kid. I just wanted to break into the industry and was willing to do whatever I needed to do at that time to get put on. Get an internship, introduce myself, spend whatever money I had to go on a PATH train to go over New York, and sometimes, a lot of times, not meeting who I wanted to meet because I didn't have an appointment. So I would just drop off my articles and let people in my resume and with a little letter saying, who I am and what my interest in being a part of the team.
Wow. And so did you ever feel discouraged where you're like, you know what, I just need to stop, or you just kept pushing?
There were plenty of times where I felt discouraged, but you know what? But there was always something inside me saying, just don't. I don't quit. That can. I have something inside me that I'm trying to find a word that's. I'm very resilient, very.
You got a fire
driven.
inside you.
Yeah, I have that's what it is. I have a fire inside me, and once I want something, I'm gonna go after it. But I am human, so once you don't get what you want when you want it, it hurts.
You keep getting out of the frame. We might have to sit this way.
I'm so big. All right, we like each other. Okay, this is good. Okay.
Yeah, all right, much better. Okay.
So it's just important to know what you want and to go after it. You have to be willing to do the work.
And it does take, sometimes people think that things come just like that, but you don't know the years that's put behind what we're doing. You know what I mean? When I knew I always wanted to be in radio. I just didn't know how I was going to get into it. And I just started going at William Patterson. And then I went to a convention that Wendy Williams was talking at. And then that's how I started interning from her.
Wendy Williams.
The Wendy Williams, y'all. I've talked about this. It's on season 1 and then on season 2, episode 1 too. I spoke about the whole shenanigans about her talking about me. So go check that out. But it was like a dream come true.
Well, I got my Wendy story too.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Let's exchange. You want to talk about it?
We can talk about that later. I mean, let's just I'll just what do you call that when you reference something but you don't? Am I foreshadowing what we're going to talk about, or am I giving a sneak peek, or
a sneak peek?
Okay. All right. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
We'll get back. I'm writing it down because I want them to hear your story. The Wendy Williams Experience.
Yeah.
All right. So when you started interning at the Source, what was that like?
No, I never interned.
Oh, you didn't even intern?
I never interned. And this is how my guy works. And this goes back to what you were talking about getting married and everything. Everything happened the way it was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
So this was early 2000s, and I'm not sure if you remember or where what you were doing around that time. But I was looking for, if I'm out of frame, just let me know.
Okay, no, you good.
I got long legs, long arms, very
no, you good.
Extremities. So I like to what is it called? Man spread.
Legs wide open,
leg wide. So where was I?
That you.
So you wasn't even paying attention.
I was, but I tell you, what is that? What did you say about the brain?
I said I got CRS. That can't remember shit.
That's
and
me.
That happens when you're in your 40s.
I'm 40. I could be talking.
I'm older than you.
I can be talking, and in the middle of the conversation, I'm forgetting what the purpose of me saying what I was saying.
The fact that you're in your 40s, or just the fact
That's
that
the
you
weed
enjoy
head.
Your ganja?
Yeah, probably.
All right.
Since I was 18.
All right.
Damn. Damn. It's been that long.
No judgment at all.
No, you were talking about
interning. I never interned
right.
at the Source. Oh, and I'm just talking about the whole setup. So I was trying to get put on for a while, and then all of a sudden things just lined up. Like I remember I was at my aunt's house at the time and had a little flip phone, and I got a message from the managing editor asking me to come in for an interview. Couldn't believe it.
That's after all the work.
Yeah, after trying to get put on for a very long time. I was like, I could not believe it. I remember how I was just in my head, like what I wanted was coming to me. At least I had the opportunity to go behind the door. Mm-hmm. So you ever watched the Wizard of Oz, and they was trying to get behind the door to see the wizard, mm-hmm. but the guard wouldn't let them. But and that's how I felt. Like I couldn't get past that door to see what that editorial office looked like, and until I got that invitation to the interview. Yeah,
that's dope. I love it. I had applied for Power 105 for an internship, mm-hmm. right? So I was waiting. I'm like, damn, they're never gonna hit me back. My phone got turned off because I didn't pay. I was like 19, 20. My phone got turned off. It was a week later before I turned my phone back on. Do you know that same day, like within 2 hours, I got a call from Power 105 mm-hmm. to come for the internship. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I got an internship at Interscope. Then I went back to intern for Wendy, started working. Like all these things started happening at one time. And I was just like, what is happening here? And I was just so grateful. But that was my time. You know what I mean? Like that was my time.
Your time. And we all have our time. So
more than once. I remind you, in your lifetime.
Yeah, more than once, but they say just wait, it'll be your turn, and until it's your turn, clap for other people who are who have that moment.
Yeah,
you'll get it.
Yeah, and especially if you clap for them, but if you hating, you're not gonna get shit.
You're not.
And one thing too, you have to realize is, just say I forgot.
The CRS, right?
It was a good statement too, Lordy Jesus. And the more I keep trying to remember, the further it just goes away. That's all right, we'll get back to it. So now you're also a community activist. I
am. That's something, that's a title that I hold near and dear to my heart. It sounds so serious. You think of community activist like a preacher or somebody with a bullhorn. in the streets. That's not me. I'm an activist in my own way. I definitely believe in community. I love Newark. Newark is like a second home to me. Never lived in Newark, but Newark is like a second home to me. And I went to school in Newark. I had a business in Newark. I love the people. So, and I learned a lot about activism by my friends who live in Newark, right? Mm-hmm. And so I currently live in Trenton, New Jersey. And I didn't want to just live in the city and not be a part of it. My family is there. I have a little daughter, and there needs to be some change within the city. And I believe that you need to be part of the change that you want to see. So right. I'm currently on the board of the mayor's office. He has a change committee, and I'm very proud of that. And nice. And there are some other things that I do with the library and mentoring youth within the city.
That's good. And not to forget Trenton Journal. He started that you funded
we're not going to forget the Trenton Journal.
Of course.
TrentonJournal.com. Log, subscribe, like, follow us on social media.
Facebook,
YouTube, Twitter.
And it's going strong.
It's going the way it's supposed to go, I think. I'm happy with what it is that I'm doing. I'm happy with people who help to contribute to the newsletter, like people like yourself. But the reason why I created the Trenton Journal was when my family and I moved there, I couldn't really find any information on Trenton besides don't move there.
Damn.
A lot of people said that, and these were some people who were from Trenton.
Damn.
So, and I even have to back up because I do have family in Trenton, and I would love to meet them. If I think some of them are still there. Trenton's a small city, mm-hmm. maybe 8 square miles, and I haven't seen them since I was a little boy. So,
and you still haven't seen them since you've been there?
You know how well, I don't know how.
Not within 8 miles. We've seen each other.
No, but it's been a very long time, and just
true. I get it.
We just lost touch, and people pass away. You don't know who's who.
Right.
But if you're related to me, Trenton, reach out.
The Miles and what's the other name?
Not even the Miles. This is my mother's side of the family.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm doing some research, and hopefully I'll connect with them. But So I moved there, and I had a lot of questions. And as a journalist, I'm like, okay, well, let me answer these questions in the form of articles, mm-hmm. and creating something that other people could find of use.
Yeah.
And I created the Trenton Journal, and we are a newsletter that aims to address the information gaps within the city of Trenton, as well as highlight the positive voices within the community.
Yes.
And I'm very proud of some of the stories that we've done. We highlighted artist Selma Burke, who didn't get her due in her day. She is a sculpture artist. She is responsible for the bas relief portrait of Roosevelt on the dime. Mm-hmm. She didn't, get credit for that.
The white man did.
Yeah, so we had that. We created a series of stories called Telling Your Trenton Stories, where young people, as well as older people, can tell their stories about growing up in the city. And I'm very proud of that. So I do need to say that there's this one guy who wrote, it's a young guy, I don't know to say Latino or Latinx these days. I was just reading something about that. But yeah, so he wrote this article about how his family wasn't even from this country. And he was struggling. I think they may have gotten evicted at one time, but he was such a good student. He didn't let that deter him from his academics. He ended up graduating, getting a full scholarship to Princeton University.
Nice. Wow.
And I'll never forget that story. That was really cool. And I think there was either a senator or assemblywoman who read his story in the Trenton Journal when she went to his going away party for college and gave him a resolution. So I'm proud of that.
What's the resolution?
I think that's something simple. Well, I need to look that up. I want to give misinformation, but I think it's something what I thought to be a proclamation.
Wow,
but it's different.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's a little
that's beautiful.
Away, so
all because it was on the Trenton Journal.
Yeah.
Yeah. All because and I would like to state that I edited, produced, directed, and hosted Fun Things to Do in Trenton. Even though it was for a short period of time, but I was proud.
How many episodes did you do?
I want to say 3.
And then you left me. You see, we got a theme in our relationship.
No.
Right? Got the book situation, and then you left me.
I'm a loyal mom. No, I am loyal. But the thing is, Trent was too far, and I didn't have a car, and so it was just like, it was a lot. If it was, listen, okay. We could try it again, though. We could try it again. But Trent was too far without me having a car. And it was like, every time I went, it was just like, it was just costing me too much at the time.
So, where you want to meet in Edison?
Newark?
I'm joking. I'm joking. No.
I'm joking, too. Look at my face. No, but
How could you come back to do one more
I would do. I definitely would love to. No, I would do it. I would definitely do it. Because I enjoyed doing that too. Okay. So like, I learned new things about Trenton. I've never really been to Trenton like that until I was working for Trenton Journal.
You taught people who've been in Trenton things that they didn't know.
Yeah, you could check it out on Trenton Journal on YouTube. Fun Things to Do in Trenton. That was last year though, so that was like the summertime of last year, I believe. But I had a good time doing it, so I enjoyed doing it. Of course, I appreciate you for even bringing me on. So I would definitely come back.
All right. So I'm a journalist too. So you're not just going to ask me questions without me asking you questions because before it even slips my mind, I was in my car and I was wondering who was your favorite interview. Who has been your favorite interview?
You know what? It's actually Queen Mother Amaku. And she's on the first episode of this season. I met her through Daraja. I got a couple.
Let me do something with this phone as you're talking. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Daraja of Love, he was on one of my episodes last season. He has an organization, so they did community resource day in East Orange, where they were giving school bags and school supplies back to the kids. They had free food. They had the East Orange YMCA, Newark Community Health Center, so they're giving out pamphlets and informations and stuff like that. And they were also doing yoga in the park. I've never done yoga, but once I had my surgery, I swore I was going to do yoga, and I never did it. So I went there, not even planning on doing it. I just was going to see, and it was a beautiful older woman with long dreads or locks, and it was like black and gray locks, and she just looked so inviting, and she was the one that was giving the yoga class session. So we did that in the park, and then me afterwards, it was like maybe an hour long, and there was a bunch of people with us, and afterwards me and her just started talking, and she was like, you remind me of myself, and she reminded me of me a little bit too, and she's so spiritual. She's a spiritual healer, and she was just amazing. And, since I just got into my new spirituality, and when I say spirituality, I don't mean religion or anything like that. I'm just saying getting more into myself and my ancestors. And we were just talking about what I went through and how she started to get into her spirituality. And I was just like, we were just like so in awe of each other. I was like, would you like to come on my podcast? And she was the first episode. Like, that was it. So that was just 2 weeks ago. No, that was actually last week I interviewed her. So just a conversation. I even bought my oracle cards. I'm getting into oracle and tarot cards. I bought it, and it was African Goddesses oracle, and it was beautiful. So I showed it to her, and we just had such a great conversation. So I would say she was like my favorite guest that I've had on my show.
Who's number 2?
You trying to get me in trouble, Ketty? You.
All right. I'm sure I'm not going to compare to the high priestess, but all right, I'm just.
Yeah, no, she definitely, she gets that one for sure. Like, she was amazing. But then I just love everybody because they're always dropping gems. You know what I mean? What I did for the second season was things that happened with me. I incorporated my life with other people who experienced the same thing, and I brought them on, either if they were experts or who've gone through the same thing. I had this woman, Caressa. She's a financial advisor, and she dropped a lot of financial gems. Even for me, like, I'm terrible about finances and credit and stuff like that. So she knows a lot. So I was grateful. Other people that would hit me up like, thank you so much for having her. I learned a lot from her too. So everybody has played a part in my show, and I thank all of you guys who've been on my show, and thank everyone who's been watching. It's just gonna keep getting better. Don't wait until I blow up to start watching. I mean, you can watch it anytime, but don't wait till I blow up to try to like me now. That's what I want to say. That's what I want to say. So also on my list of things for you is entrepreneur. So what have you, besides Trenton Journal, is there any other? What businesses have you?
I love that this is a setup, right?
No, it's no setup.
No. So I'm one of the founding partners at Third Space Co-working Space in Newark, and that's how
we
you
met.
and I have met. And Third Space, I was there maybe around 2 years or so, and it was a wonderful experience because I love community and I love Newark. So
you guys had a lot of different people come through and speak.
We
also,
did. So I was definitely proud of the events that we did there. You know, we had Centoya Brown Long, she came through, and a friend of mine, Aaliyah S. King, a dope writer. She and I worked at the Swiss Magazine together.
And that's my bestie sister.
That's her bestie sister. She did some interviews and helped me. She partnered with me in doing some of the events. So she interviewed Centoya Brown Long.
Yeah,
that was really good.
Dope. I was there for that.
Yeah, she came in. She talked about her book. We had MJ Rodriguez from Pose, and we invited some kids from Newark Arts High. And
that's beautiful.
That was really good. And we also had Alfred Edmond, who is my mentor. He came in and he did a series of I don't know if you will call them events, but seminars. Seminars. He came in and did some financial literacy seminars, and we really had a great time. So I'm definitely proud about that.
You know what's so funny? Me and Kenny met at Third Space 2018, and then we just vibed. You know what I mean? I was doing they had a podcast studio, so that's why I initially went there, was to go for the podcast studio. But it turned out that he knew my cousin Angela, who I haven't seen in years.
Okay, now it goes back to like everything happens for a reason.
Everything happens for a reason.
I'm not surprised about, and I haven't seen Angie in a very long time, but Angie is someone.
She's a pastor now.
Yeah, I know. I didn't even know that was your cousin until I think you're the only other Aquay that I know, and I'm familiar with that name from interning at a publication. I'm not sure how many of Aquays there were.
Just my dad. My dad is.
That was your father?
Yeah, my father was the one that was working at Black Enterprise. Okay. And I knew Alfred also because he worked with my father. They worked together. So me and Alfred's daughter were like best friends every time we went on business trips with our fathers. So it was like every summer we see each other. Mind you, she lived in Brooklyn, but we never saw each other when we were home, just when we were in Florida. And then when we got old enough, they let us have our rooms together, me and her. But yeah, I grew up knowing Alfred.
And you see the connection that we have. I don't know why we vibed. I know you were talking about we used to have a studio in Third Space, and you wanted to do your podcast, and I was encouraging you to just go ahead and do it. And,
that's where I started my season 1 at first, but then I ended up just staying home. Like when I knew I could just do it from my phone, but then
that's why we make no money.
Huh?
That's why we make any money. Doing a podcast,
Yeah, that's why you guys had to shut it down.
Yeah, it just wasn't profitable. Having a podcast studio.
But it really motivated me to start the season. You know what I mean? Because being out of space helps you more than when you're at home. You know. But then
it looks good too.
It was a really nice podcast studio. It was very welcoming too. But I guess just after some time, I was being cheap or whatever, and I just started going from home, and I was more comfortable, I guess, instead of having to go out. But then I was just
Can I stop
slacking.
You? And like, you gotta get out. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just meaning like you have to get outside your comfort zone. And I'm a segue into me being in grad school right now, and it's a blessing, but it's also a lot of work. And I don't like school. I don't like going to school, formal school. But I just got a great opportunity where I can get my master's in science within a year. So I'm going to do it.
Wow, in a year? That sounds like a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, but, this is a great opportunity for me as well. So it's fully funded. I'm going to take it out. You don't have to go in debt to get it. But I'm saying that to say I'm stretching myself. You have to stretch yourself in order to grow.
But at the same time, do you want to sacrifice your mental health or health to stretch yourself? Like, is it...
That's a great question.
Worth stretching yourself that far that once you get it, you might not even be here or mentally here to receive all the hard work you did?
How would I know unless I try?
Well, one thing you would know by is do you give yourself one day to take a rest? Or not even a whole day, maybe half a day for yourself? Look, you're a father and a husband, and you're working on your book, you're working on a bunch of different things. Now on top of this school. Do you have any time for yourself ever?
That's a great question.
I'm a big believer in having time to yourself.
I do. I think I do carve out. Sometimes I think I may carve out too much time for myself at times. No, because it's all about, to me, having structure and being diligent with your time. So to answer your question, I think I do. I know how to. I'm very in tune with myself, and I know if I need to just pull step back from whatever it is that I'm doing, and I also know that if I'm doing too much, it manifests in other areas of my life. So that's an indicator for me just to pull back on certain things. But this is something that I'm gonna do.
What do you plan to do with your master's degree?
Okay, so the program that I'm in right now is going to help me with the Trenton Journal and my media company.
Okay.
To grow what it is that I'm doing right now. So I'm in a group. I'm in a group with some amazing folks out in Virginia, and they're all across the country. So I'm learning, and I'm really pushing myself.
That's good.
Last night I was up late finishing some assignments. I have a 10-page paper to do by Monday, and I'm just like,
damn.
Yeah.
And do you wait last minute? Are you like a procrastinator?
I can't see that goes back to I have to set up time. So, and I don't like rushing. That's one thing about me. I'm very good with being on time, and I don't like to wait, and I don't want to feel anxious. So I am pretty good at showing up early. But when it comes to writing, sometimes I'm a huge procrastinator. Except with my book.
Yeah. Well, that's the person I interviewed last time, Miss Brenda, she was working on her first book for 20 years. Mm-hmm. 20, and I told her about you and I holding ourselves accountable. So when she said 20 years, I was like, I felt relieved, but then I'm like, I don't want to wait 20 years. I want this out within 2 years. However, I might finish it within 2 years, but the whole other process after to get it out might take another few years or so,
Yeah.
So
it'll come out.
It'll definitely come out.
Supposed to.
When that's the theme. Is that the name of this podcast episode?
What?
Things come in due time. No, it'll happen when it's supposed to. Mm-hmm. It'll happen. That sounds so long, no? I'm really out here trying to.
And how about just saying in due time?
In due time.
In due time. See,
it's good to have a writer on my my roster. That's what's up. On my friends list.
Can I tell you? I'm thank you for inviting me to your show. I've been watching it. I wanted to do the intro, get down with you and everything else, and I'm not a dancer, but I'm proud of what you're doing.
Thank you.
And I'm just like, I'll show up for my friends.
Thank you. I appreciate you coming. I was excited for you to come. And you know what? It's so crazy because there's so many people I want to come on my show, but I don't think to ask them. So, for instance, the owner of the Empowerment Studio, she's like, I want to come on your show. I'm like, well, come on. She's like, well, why didn't you ever ask me? I'm like, why didn't I ever ask you? I don't know. I just assumed people would ask me to come on my show, I guess, So I'm going to start making a habit of asking people because I want all different types of people. I don't want it just to be women, I want all types of people with all types of experiences to share their experience, and feel comfortable. I like people to feel comfortable on my show. That's why I do the little dance at first. So it's kind of an icebreaker, But I'm still thinking of ways to make it different than season 2. So we'll see. In the middle of it might change a little bit.
I'm glad to be on, and you're not going to mention my
his silky shirt. Look at his tiger, y'all. I'm a Leo.
You're not going to mention my nod to Biggie Smalls, the 90s.
You have to show them the tiger first of all.
Where's the tiger?
Right there.
She loves.
Yes, this tiger.
Loves animals.
Is that Versace? No. I just see the Versace stuff. All right, it doesn't even matter.
It's Versace's cousin, but I wore this for you.
Nice. He can be when you come on my show, you must dress to impress. Okay.
All right.
But now we've discussed a lot of things. What's coming up next for you?
So I'm in school. Trenton Journal, please subscribe. Looking for sponsors. We're working on a print version of the newsletter, which I'm proud of.
Nice.
I'll show you, a possible cover that I have. I'm still working on it.
Okay.
So
That's
just doing that and finishing off school. That's it. And then my book.
School will be done soon too. 1 year, that's fast. So you already started already?
Yeah, I started last week. So I'm focusing on that. And then my book, I gotta eat.
Yeah.
I like to eat.
I know that's right.
Well. So, I gotta make sure that I take care of myself and, definitely continue to do the community, work in the community. I love Trenton. I don't know what, I'll come back to Newark in some capacity. But
we always welcome you back over here, you know what I'm saying? I'm not from Newark, but I've been living here for like the last 9 years. Mm-hmm. And I love it. It's so convenient, actually, to get wherever I want to go. So, it's always here. It'll always be here, and it's expanding. A lot is going on over here. It's changing so much.
Love the vibe, yep.
But I also wanted to mention, because you're going back to school for your master's, and we're all doing these things, like dope things now. You guys, I used to feel like I'm at this age, I should be doing this. You guys, like we're saying, in due time, okay? Things will happen when it's supposed to happen. You don't have to be a certain age for something to happen. I feel like a hypocrite because I was just complaining about being single at 40, but whatever. So, guys...
Wait, do you mean what you're saying, though?
I do mean it because as far as other aspects of life, okay? Now I'm seeing, like, 40, I feel like I'm about to be in my prime. Like, I feel like I'm about to take off now at 40. And I feel like I'm 30, you know what I mean? So I feel the young energy and it's coming out. And I feel like now is everything I want is going to happen. And I guess I needed to be in this mental state to be able to receive everything. The maturity and the appreciation.
So who's hollering at you now? Is it young guys or older guys?
Guys that I'm not interested in. No sugar daddy. I would accept a sugar daddy for now. Would you rather
have a sugar daddy or like one of these young guys hollering at you?
Now... sugar daddy or a sugar baby. Like, if it was a young guy who still would be able to upkeep as far as, like, vacations and, like to do fun things. I'm not asking for much. I don't have to go out to dinner. We could go to the gun range. We could do, like, little different things. But if you're wanting to have fun, I just want to be with someone who's fun. And, like,
so are they older, younger, or what?
It's nobody. I'm telling you, nobody. They just talk. They just stare at me. People don't approach me. I don't know why. Like, what? I mean, okay, can I just say this? Mm-hmm. I recently started to kind of figure out why they're not approaching me, and I think it's a blessing in disguise because they know they can't touch me. Like, they're not on my level type thing. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's my ancestors protecting me or my aura too, but a lot of people don't approach me. And once in a blue, they'll approach me. I'll discern from that moment on if I'll give them the time of day or if, like, no, I'm not interested. But they're maybe like, they're older. Recently, older men have been showing their love for Miss A.
Like grandpa?
No, thank God. But nowadays, we don't crack. So they could be like 50, 60, and they look like they're in their 40s. I mean, I'm not going to go for a 60-year-old unless it's temporary. Like I said, a sugar daddy, if I need to go. But I don't want to use anybody because I don't want no karma back, If back in the days, if I had a sugar daddy, I would have loved that. Take me anywhere. But now I really don't. I just really want to focus on elevating and meeting that one person that's for me, but they act interested, and then when I'm like, okay, then it's like, okay, that they're like, okay, you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They scared of me or something. Now I will say I could be a little aggressive sometimes. I'm not even gonna lie, I'm a Leo, so when I also want something, I go for it.
How aggressive are you?
I'm a little embarrassed, but like if a guy's telling me, okay, like
as I look at your cat clothes.
Come here, I want you. Yeah, like that. Like, if I want you, you're gonna know I want you. Like, you will know, like, damn, she definitely wants me. Like, I just am aggressive. I want to talk to you all the time. I want to see if you tell me that you're interested but you're not ready, I'm gonna try to convince you, like, you're ready. But I have to stop doing
that's
that.
Two different things, though. That's not being aggressive. If somebody just told you they're not. This is another show. We're not even going down that rabbit hole.
I'm going to have to edit this whole part out. Okay, that whole part out, because that sounds terrible. But I don't know. I know I'm aggressive. Because the last guy I was talking to, that was a whole nother situation. But I realized, like, you know what? I'm just going to fall back and let things come to me. Because, again, I don't want the wrong person, you know? So when a man tells you something, you have to believe him. You have to listen to what they're saying. Got
it. Wendy Williams.
The Wendy Williams Experience. Oh, you remember? Okay, I had it written right down.
Look, see?
If I didn't write it down, I forgot.
So, no, because I alluded that I was going to tease some of the stories. So we have Wendy Williams in common as well. So I told you when I was a teenager, I was trying to get put on. I loved the music. I loved media. And I used to listen to the radio so often. I always thought she did a great job at interviewing her guests. And she was different from other people who interviewed. Like, there wasn't cookie cut questions that she would ask her guests. And she had personality. And I remember I wanted an interview with her. And the first time I met her, I was over in New York. I think Mary J. Blige was doing a signing for the My Life album. There's Wendy. This may have been when Kiss was out. You
wanted to interview her for The Source?
No, I wasn't at The Source at the time. I may have been at the Jersey Journal, whatever. But I'm like, whatever. Big dreams.
Okay.
So she's outside smoking a Newport, and I come up to her, and I think she had a poster in her hand. Oh no, she's walking away, and I asked her something. She cussed me out.
Damn.
And all I remember was, if you want an interview, call a studio. And I felt,
damn.
There was two things I could have did at the time, and I know me. I cussed her back out, or I could have did what she suggested to do, and I did the latter. Called, and she called me back. She called me back, and so I was surprised. And not only did she call me back, but she invited me to her apartment out in Jersey City.
Wow.
And I'm like, I've been listening to this woman for a long time. Invited me to her apartment.
Did she remember she cursed you out now?
Yeah, so that's the funny part about it. That is the funny part. She's like, why do I remember like cussing you out? So, I'm like, But we did the interview, and I interviewed her several years throughout my career, and she called me at one time when she got off Hot 97, and I was working at I was freelancing for different magazines at this time, and I felt like this was my way of giving back to her, because back in the day, this was before social media where people could rally around each other. Right. So I was like, they left her for dead, basically, in New York, and she did Billy. I'm like, well, let me write a story, letting people know what happened, and giving her an opportunity to tell her side of the story. So I did, and this was for Russell Simmons magazine, and what I was told was she still had that article in her office for her show.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then years later, she was looking for me. She said, does anybody know how to find Kenneth Miles? And a couple of friends of mine called me up saying, Wendy's looking for you. And I called the station, and she says, she said, I remember you asking very good questions.
Wow.
I have a job for you.
That is dope.
Yeah. So I hold her, with the level of fondness. I think she, I don't want to say certain words, but there's a side to her that some people don't know and don't see and maybe not understand. But once you get to know her, she was cool. Like, so she invited me to her home for a party. It was like, don't bring anybody. And she would call me, just random stuff, and just like...
She was putting you on.
Yeah, exactly. But I think initially when she did that, that was her way of testing where I was at and if I could handle.
And you passed the test. You was doing it.
I didn't know I was being tested at the time. Yeah.
But see, that's such a huge difference from how she treated me. Like, even, I will say, because I used to tell people when I was working for her, I used to intern and babysit her son and tutor her son. Then I was a head intern. So I would be at her house. So I saw what she was.
Head intern.
Yeah, like I was the intern in charge. Like the other interns would have to come to me to get approval for certain things, or when resumes came in for other interns, I would scan them first.
Did she officially give you a head intern title?
Yeah, she's like, do you want to come back as my head intern? Because mind you, she fired me after a few months because they said I was too pushy, and I was there. Now, do I have to repeat this story? Because I mean, I can. No. So why, you don't want to hear it? No.
I'll go to see season 1.
She was like, when I met her again after she fired me, we walked around Bed Bath & Beyond. That's where I met her. I was working at the time. And she was like, come, she just like, have you ever babysat before? I'm like, yeah. She's like, come babysit. So I was doing that for at least 3 months before she asked me. She was like, you know what? You've been doing well here. And, you know, she didn't mention me being an intern before. She was like, you've been doing well here and I trust you. Do you want to come back as my head intern? I was like, sure. So now I worked with Winky Wright and Vivica Fox manager to bring them to one of her parties. So I'm like doing all the airfare and all that stuff like that, coordinating schedules with their managers. I was not interviewing interns coming in, but I was like, what do you call it? Weaving through the resumes for the people to come before they came in, and then I would call them and tell them, and then, you know, Nicole would interview them. I did a lot more than I did as a regular intern.
Did she pay you?
No. She didn't really like to pay me when I was babysitting her son.
Really?
I would be there for a weekend. I would get paid like $80 for the whole weekend from Friday to Sunday. Now, mind you, I didn't care. I was a student in college. This is Wendy Williams, you know?
See, this is how people get over.
Yeah, she got a vote.
This is how people get over, and they end up getting sued later for what do you call it? Labor.
She definitely got over. Even when I went to Puerto Rico and Vegas with them just to babysit her son. This is actually when she physically met Charlamagne. Mm-hmm. I was in the room when she physically met. They had talked on the phone, but when she physically met Charlamagne, I was there. And she only wanted to, mind you, 5 days. I'm missing school, but I'm going to Puerto Rico and Vegas. And everything's all inclusive, like everything's paid for. I didn't have to pay for anything. But she only wanted to pay me like $250. So I had to muster up the courage to ask her for more. Like, Wendy, I'm missing school. I'm babysitting your son for 5 days. So I had to muster up the courage. It took me a long time. So even when I'm asking her, I'm like shaking my boots. And she like yelled at me. It's like, you know, everything's being paid for and blah, blah, blah. But then at the end of the trip, she did give me what I asked for. So she was like, talked her shit, but she gave me what I asked for at the end of the trip, you know? And I had asked her for tickets to her black, you know, she used to have those black balls. I forgot what she called it. Yeah. It happened to fall on my birthday. Like, it was the 22nd, and then my birthday's the 23rd. So I had asked her for, now, again, I had to muster up the courage to ask her for tickets, for 2 tickets, or even just a ticket for me. And so she gave me 2 tickets, but as she's giving me a ticket, she was like, before she like had it like this, and I was holding it, and she wouldn't let go. She's like, don't act like you know me. Don't try to get in VIP, blah, 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 blah. I was like, I'm not, but thank you. I'll take the tickets. You know, I wasn't going to do any of that. You know, me and my friends were just going to go and chill. So that was that. And then again, with her talking about me, saying she's going to blacklist me from radio or have me blackballed from radio and all this after I left on good terms. So it's like some things, like, she still, what I was going to say is at her house, there are times where I could see the nice side of her. Like, I know a different side of Wendy, and I know what you're talking about. So I never badmouthed her afterwards. I was hurt for years after she really, like, shit on my name on air 2 different times, months after I stopped working for her. But now I love to talk about it. It is what it is, but she could have crushed me. Like, you don't know my mental health. I could have killed myself over that shit. I'm not even in the game. I'm 23-year-olds trying to get in the radio game. And you say on the air, you're going to have me blacklisted from radio? For what reason? And then say I try to sleep with Charlamagne at your house?
Did you?
No!
I'm joking.
Charlamagne is not even my type. He's like this. I'm like this, okay? I've never, nothing. She said I dropped my towel in front of him or some shit. I don't know. I was like, where did that come from? I hit Charlamagne on MySpace. Like, what is she talking about? What did you tell her? He's like, nothing. I don't know. You know how she is. I'm like, but that's my Wendy Williams experience. So you try to have me blackballed. But it just kept me going. Then Do It All. And when I was interning at Power 105, I met him. And he brought me into the radio game. Mm-hmm. So because of him is why I'm still here now. You know? I kept going. I mean, it was in my spirit, I guess. Anyway, that's one of my purpose.
Fire.
But the fire.
You gotta
he
have
kept the fire going because Wendy sure as hell turned that shit all the way down. But he turned it up.
What's meant for you is going to be for you.
Yeah.
Nobody can blacklist you, blackball you. I'm a firm believer in that. Yeah. Nobody can stop what's divine.
That's true.
So, that being said, I wish her well. That's it.
Yeah, me too. I do feel bad. I just saw a video recently. Like, I've never had any ill feelings towards her. I knew she would get her karma, but I still. And that's natural.
Things like that happens.
Yeah, but I do wish her the best, and I hope she gets well soon or gets better. But I would never say anything bad about Wendy. I would just say what she did to me, and that's it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Except my mom used to be mad. Like, she hated the way Wendy treated me when I was there. Mm-hmm. But my mom used to love Wendy's show. She's like, oh, Wendy was talking about this. I'm like, Ma, really? So you're just going to watch the show and just talk about it with me? Like, but my mom was a fan of her show, the TV show. Mm. Yeah, man. Is there anything else?
No.
We did it.
Well, no, I do. Please subscribe to the Trenton Journal, TrentonJournal.com. Sign up. Follow us on social media. Let me know how we're doing. If there are any stories that you want to see. That's it. This has been great. You take suggestions too, right? I do. I'm all about suggestions and feedback. If you want to write for us, let me know. Definitely appreciate it. And also, make sure you check out the videos I did for them. Fun things to do in Trenton. On Trenton Journal on YouTube. Go to their YouTube page and subscribe, like, and share also. All right. So, guys, thank you guys for another fabulous episode of my Lovely Lunatic Leo Life podcast. Peace. And thank you. We out. Corny, right? Peace in the Middle East. No, that's corny. Peace in the Middle East. I used to say that shit all the time. Kaboom! Guess who stepped in the room? So we're just two friends talking. Yeah. Well, we're a businessman. You're an entrepreneur. You're an author / friend / everything. We're talking about. Do you want to talk about that? Doing what? With the magazines? So it's cool. Hip hop. Hell yeah. It'll flow. Okay. Oh, Kenny. I'm so proud of you. Thank you so much.